up, stream? What's up, stream? What's up, stream? Welcome back to another stream on the channel. I'll move the mic a little closer to my mouth since I'll be reading today's probably about 14 pages again. Sorry. It's pretty loud as soon as the stream starts. Sorry, everybody. But about 14 more pages of the Element Encyclopedia of Secret Societies, the ultimate A to Z of Ancient Mysteries, Lost Civilizations, and Hidden History by John Michael Greer. Bro, chat. There's some mysteries in this book. Be ready for your major signs. They're trying to silence me. They're trying to silence me, chat. You see this? You see them trying to silence me, chat? I will not be silenced. I said calm in the tag though, so this will be a calm reading. But you see them trying to silence me, chat? I will not be silenced. I mean, obviously I'm joking. Ooh, it's been good. Wow. But let's get into it. If you've been here for any of the other readings, I'm glad you enjoyed and came back. And if you haven't seen any of the other readings so far, the other readings are on the live section on my channel, and you can go to any of those lives and be able to check on and check out the latest readings. You feel me? You check out the latest readings. And yeah, I'd appreciate that. But let's get into it. We're on page 26 here. And we're going to go ahead and get started on today's reading. Okay, so I'll just read from the very top. The Burial Effigy of Sir James Dunn, one of Sinclair's founding companions, C. Sinclair Campbell. The Pacific Ocean may seem like a much greater barrier than the Atlantic, but solid evidence exists for crossings to America from the west. Several plant crops from southeastern Asia, such as cotton and sweet potato, were grown in Mexico and South America before 1492. Crops don't cross oceans by themselves, so clearly somebody brought them. The most likely candidates are the Polynesians, who crossed vast stretches of open centuries before European raiders first dared to sell out of sight of land. Golly, chat. Give me a second. Get my tone right. Gotta get the tone right. Oh man. Linguistic and technological evidence suggests that several Polynesian voyages reached America well before Columbus did. Japanese and Chinese sailors seem to have accomplished the same feat. The Kurashio Current, one of the Great Pacific Currents, sweeps past Japan and the eastern shores of Asia, marches across the North Pacific, and flows down the western coast of North and South America. Most people who grew up near the beaches of Washington and Oregon State, as the present author did, remember beachcombing for blown glass, fishing nets, floats from Japanese fishing vessels, lost in Aleutians, loathed Kuroshio around the beaches of the Pacific Northwest. The same current brought scores of Japanese fishing vessels to America in historic times, and doubtless did so early as well. The language of the Zuni, people of New Mexico, shared hundreds of words with medieval Japanese and Zuni religion. Hey, welcome to the chat. Appreciate you dropping by. Zuni religion and culture combined Japanese and Native American elements. In her book, The Zuni Enigma, Nancy Yaw Davis has argued that the Zuni emerged out of the fusion of a native tribe with voyagers from Japan who landed on the California coast. In the Middle Ages and New England, Chinese contact with the New World may date back many centuries further. Old Chinese myths speak of a wonderful land across the Pacific, the paradise of the goddess Saigon Mo. And voyagers seeking the peach of immortality sailed east from Chinese shores in search of a far country for more than 2,000 years. Physical traces from Chinese coins to stone anchors from Chinese ocean junks have been found along the coast of North and South America. While some recent claims from Chinese overseas voyages appear overstated, a Chinese presence on the western shores of the New World is hard literature of voyages to the New World, well, before 1492, however, includes literally thousands of other claims. Some of these may well be true. The fact that some people from the old world reached metaphorical conclusions, though, does not mean that all the claims are true. This should be obvious, but today's alternative literature demonstrates that it is not obvious enough. Claims that the Knights Templars had an overseas empire in the New World, for example, are based on a series of unlikely assumptions about 17th century powers and Masonic symbolism, a legend about non-existent Templar Atlantic fleet, and very little more, except the fact that books on the Templars are a hot commodity and the alternative seem obvious. Equally claims that ancient Egyptians who stopped building pyramids around 2000 BC must have crossed the Atlantic to teach the Mayans, who started building their own, very different pyramids around the beginning of the Common Era. Rest on wild assumptions, not evidence. See Egypt, Knight Templar, Skull and Crossbones. Further reading, Davis 2000, Poll 1974. American Order of Klansmen. A competitor to the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. The American Order of Klansmen was founded in San Francisco in 1915 as a patriotic, social, and benevolent secret society. The year is significant since 1915 saw the appearance of the movie Birth of a Nation, a masterpiece of racist propaganda that portrayed the original Ku Klux Klan of the post-Civil War South as heroic defenders of white culture against bestial black hordes. Birth of a Nation inspired Colonel Williams Simmons to launch the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, the most successful Klan rival in Georgia, and probably played the same role on the other side of the country in bringing the American Order of Klansmen into being. See Ku Klux Klan. Under pressure from the revived Klan, the American Order reorganized itself as a fraternal beneficiary order in 1919, discarded the white robes and hoods of the original Klan, and focused on patriotic causes. Never very large or successful, they seem to have gone out of existence sometime in the 1940s. Three eyes in the book. American Party. See No Nothing Party. American Protective Association, APA. Let me check something. American Protective Association, APA, founded at Clinton, Iowa in 1887. The APA was an anti-Catholic secret society motivated by fears that the Roman Catholic Church sought to,
for the ones ensuring the job always gets done,
dominate
and the ones
American
wearing many
politics
hats.
and erase
Granger offers professional-grade industrial supplies and real-time product availability. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Get out of here, ads. Well, the ads on myself. Okay. Erase barriers between church and state. It pursued immigration restrictions, removal of tax exemption from the Catholic churches, and public inspection of all private institutions where persons of either sex are secluded with or against their will. A reference to media stories about Catholic monasteries and nunneries. By 1896, it had a membership between 1 and 2 million and could count 20 known members in the U.S. Congress. See Roman Catholic Church. Unlike the revived Ku Klux Klan, which took up the anti-Catholic banner after the First World War, the APA did not combine its anti-Catholicism with racism. In northern states, black men were admitted to full membership, while south of the Mason-Dixon line, the APA organized separate white and black councils, local lodges. The APA remained a significant force in American politics until the First World War, but was eclipsed thereafter to the Ku Klux Klan. American Protective League, APL, a secret society organized and operated by the U.S. government. The American Protective League was founded in 1917 after the American Declaration of War on Germany, under the auspices of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, responsible for counterintelligence work on U.S. soil. The APA recruited volunteers as unpaid secret agents for the duration of the war. Each member had a number and reported suspicious activities against or heard captain who forwarded them to the local FBI office. The APA had 250,000 members by the end of the war. In February 1919, dissolved it and issued colorful certificates to each of its members. As far as can be determined, the APO's activities did not result in the arrest of a single spy or the prevention of a single act of sabotage. Dang, that sucks. When the Second World War broke out, the experiment was not repeated. Dang. American Revolution. The successful insurgency of American colonists against British rule between 1775 and 1782 has been cited far more rarely by historical conspiracy theorists as an example of secret society interference in politics than the French Revolution that broke out less than a decade later. This is ironic because while the role of secret societies in the French Revolution is ambiguous at best, the American Revolution was unquestionably planned and carried out by well-documented secret societies. The origins of the American Revolution can be traced to British colonial policy under the Tory governments favored by King George III. British attempts to restrict colonists' westward expansion, combined with unpopular tax policies to produce widespread resentment against British rule, the British responded with military repression, and the colonists countered with boycotts and the first outbreaks of violence. In the midst of the rising spiral of competition, at least two significant secret societies took shape. The first of these organizations was the Committees of Correspondence. Largely drawn from the landowners and educated classes, the committees coordinated political action across the 13 colonies and kept each colony abreast on radical activities and British government responses throughout America. Many members of the committees ended up becoming delegates to the Continental Congresses of the War Years and a constitutional convention that followed. See Committees of the Correspondence. The second of these organizations was the Sons of Liberty, a radical organization centered in Boston, the hotbed of colonial radicalism. The Sons of Liberty drew most of its membership from the urban middle classes and pursued a radical line, favoring independence while most colonists still hoped for an improved relationship with Britain. Terrorist actions against British property were a Sons of Liberty hallmark, with the famous Boston Tea Party, the dumping of 3 shiploads of imported tea into the Boston Harbor to protest a tax on tea, their most famous act. Sorry, chat, my tongue. During the last months before the outbreak of war, the Sons of Liberty organized armed bands that became the nucleus of the colonial army. See Sons of Liberty. Both these societies had connections to Freemasonry, but the role of the craft in the American Revolution was an ambivalent one. Most of the upper-level leadership of American Masonry on the eve of the Revolution sided with Britain, but many ordinary Masons supported independence. George Washington was a Mason, as were the 32 other generals in the Continental Army, and 8 members of Washington's personal staff. Benjamin Franklin, ambassador to France and architect of Franco-American alliance that won independence, was not only a Freemason, but a member of the prestigious L'École des Neufs in Paris. Hopefully I said that right, chat. Got you. Turn the music off. Hope you can hear me better. There we go. As well as a member of the Friars of St. Francis of Wycombe, better known as the Hellfire Club. See Franklin Benjamin Freemasonry Hellfire Club. The Warriors saw the Sons of Liberty in committees. No, that's not my homework. I'm just reading. I just like reading. I like books. The Warriors saw the Sons of Liberty in committees of correspondence. I just picked this up from Barnes & Noble. Absorbed completely into Continental Army and an emerging government once their purpose was fulfilled. These secret societies faded away. Freemasonry became popular during and after the Revolution, but its popularity did not prevent it from becoming the target of a New England witch hunt in the late 1790s and a systemic attempt at extension by the Anti-Masonic Party of the 1830s. See See Anti-Masonic Party, Anti-Masonry. Anarchism, a major political force in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Anarchism was communism's most important rival in the struggle to define and control the left, and gave rise to important political secret societies. Its principal founder was French philosopher Pierre-Joseph Proudhon, who argued that all legal systems are methods by which the rich oppress the poor and a just society could only be founded on the basis of voluntary associations. Proudhon's famous, Proudhon's famous What is Property, 1840, argued that property is theft and that systems that give ownership of land and other necessities to a few are simply methods of institutionalized robbery. After Proudhon, After Proudhon's anarchism developed in two main directions, and the most important figure in each was a Russian. I'm lagging. My fault. Let me. Are we good now, chat? Am I lagging? Am I still lagging? Oh, am I good? I'm gonna keep reading, but let me know in the chat if I'm lagging. Got it. Okay, got you. After Proudhon, okay, two main directors, and the most important figure in each was a Russian. Oh, okay. Got you. Prince Pyotr Kropotkin. Kropotkin? You see that word, chat? You try to say that. You try to say that name. Prince Pyotr Kropotkin. I think that's how you say it. 1842 to 1921. The doyen of of pacifist anarchism. Argue for an ideal state in which government and private property would alike be abolished, removing the causes of crime and violence. His older contemporary, Mikhail Bakunin, 1814 to 76, argued and said, for the violent overthrow of every government. Bakunin was the head of the International Brothers, a revolutionary secret society, and his writings helped inspire a wave of political violence in the late 19th century, carried out by anarchists and nihilist secret societies. See International Brothers and Nihilists. All through the late 19th century, anarchist and communist groups struggled for control of labor unions and left-wing political parties in Europe and America, and only the victory of the Bolsheviks in the Russian Revolution of 1917 and the Russian Civil War that followed it made communism the standard doctrine of the far left in the middle years of the 20th century. Sorry, I destroyed that sentence, chat. Despite a small resurgence of interest during the 1960s, anarchism never regained the ground it lost and remains mostly the concern of historians of ideas today. See Communism, further reading, Joel 1980, Wells 1987. Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite, AASR. The most influential of the concordant bodies of Freemasonry in the United States and one of the most important Masonic rites worldwide, the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite was founded in Charleston White, South Carolina in 1802 by a group of Freemasons who had received a charter to work with the rite of perfection, a system of high degrees from France that claimed descent from the medieval Knights Templar, but actually had their roots in the Jacobite Masonry of the mid-18th century. They obtained several additional degrees from various sources, expanded their rite from the 25 degrees worked by the rite of the perfection to 33. Recruitment was slow, and for decades the Scottish Rite ranked as one of the minor rites in American Freemasonry. It has two jurisdictions in America, Northern and Southern. The Northern, despite the name, includes only those northern states east of the Mississippi River, so that the Scottish Rite Masons in Alaska belong to the Southern jurisdiction. See Freemasonry, Jacobites, Rite of Perfection, Scottish degrees. The transformation that turned the Scottish Rite into one of the world's most successful Masonic rites was the work of one man, Albert Pike, 1809 to 91. Pike joined the Scottish Rite in 1853 and rose quickly through his ranks, becoming sovereign Grand Commander of the Southern jurisdiction in 1859. Ooh, 6 quick years, okay. He completely rewrote the rite's initiation rituals, replacing dull, interrogator language with genuine poetry and inserting a great deal of occult philosophy into the ceremonies. In addition, his Morals and Dogma, 1871, a commentary on the Scottish Rite degrees, is one of the classics of 19th century occultism. It has been said, with some justice, that Pike found the Scottish Rite in a log cabin and left it in a temple. See Pike Albert. That's what we want to do. Hey, Founded as Scrubs and built a mansion. Pike envisioned the Scottish Rite as a university of Freemasonry, a body in which Masons interested in the philosophical and spiritual dimensions of the craft could work their way through degrees that summed up the moral and intellectual heritage of the Western world. During his time, Scottish Rite lodges met in buildings owned by other Masonic bodies, and Pike wrote movingly of the simplicity and dignity of the rituals. Under Pike and his successors, the rite spread to many other countries, and supreme councils were chartered in Europe and Europe, South America, and Australasia. Maybe that means to say Australia, and it's a typo in the book. Pike's immediate successors in the American jurisdictions lacked his vision, but for the most part, they followed the precedents he had set. Starting in the decades after Pike's death, however, the right gradually took on a more active political stance and entered into a long running feud against the Roman Catholic Church. Masonic bitterness about the Vatican's hostility towards Masonry goes back centuries. But in early 20th century, American opposition to Catholicism also served to cloak racist attitudes towards Irish, Italian, and Hispanic immigrants. Successive sovereign grand commanders in the southern jurisdiction used the right's resources to disseminate anti-Catholic propaganda and lobby against parochial schools. See Roman Catholic Church. The Scottish Rite's opposition toward Catholicism became a severe liability in the 1920s when it brought the right into a tacit alliance with the revived Ku Klux Klan. The Klan shared the right's anti-Catholic sentiments, and white Masons' hostility towards Black Prince Hall Masonry rendered the right's leadership as well as its ordinary members vulnerable to the Klan's blandishments. During the mid 1920s, several members of the Southern Jurisdiction Supreme Council were also Klansmen, and one of them simultaneously headed the Scottish Rite and the Klan in his home state. As the Klan's dubious activities came to light in the media in the second half of the decade, embarrassed Scottish Rite leaders and members alike concealed their clan involvements, but the Rite's reputation suffered. See Ku Klux Klan, Prince Hall Masonry. The difficulties caused the Rite's short-lived rapprochement with the Klan. The difficulties caused by the Rite's short-lived rapprochement with the Klan proved to be transitory. By the end of the 20th century, though, the right in America faced problems that offered no easy solutions. The roots of the predicament reached back to the beginning of the century and grew out of the growing popularity of the Scottish Rite in those years. Faced with hundreds of enthusiastic new members, most American Scottish Rite units began to confer the degrees as theatrical performances in which new members simply sat through a series of ritual plays, standing at intervals to join in when it was time to make the obligations of each degree. At the same time, the once mandatory time between degrees went by the wayside, and new rules allowed most of the degrees to be skipped so that only 5 degrees 4, 14, 18, and 30, oh, 18, 30, and 32 were required. By the middle of the 20th century, new members of the Rite in America went from third degree Master Mason to 32nd degree Master to 32nd degree Master of the Royal Secret in a single weekend or even a single day. By sitting in an auditorium watching 5 rituals performed on stage, that is wow. Okay. Well, my next basketball stream, I will be streaming basketball stream tonight. So if you want to catch the next basketball stream, that will be on. I'll be streaming basketball stream tonight. These changes went as far as they did because the Scottish Rite in America during this time had become economically dependent on another Masonic concordant body. The ancient. Okay, I stopped because I was about to read that chat, but it's not there anymore. Let me go back to where I was. These changes went as far as they did because the Scottish Rite in America during this time had become economically dependent on another Masonic concordant body, the ancient Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. The Shriners had golf courses and other members only recreational facilities that offered a powerful draw to the middle class and middle aged men, who made up the majority of American Masons. Membership in the shrine was available only to Masons who held either the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite or the Knight Templar degree of the York Rite. But most Shriners had little interest in Freemasonry. In the late 1950s, 92% of Shriners never set foot inside a Masonic lodge meeting, and 95% never attended meetings of Scottish Rite or York Rite bodies after their initiation. The Scottish Rite capitalized on this by simplifying the process so that Master Masons could qualify for Shrine membership after a single weekend of Scottish Rite degrees. This brought the Rite a steady income from hundreds of thousands of members who had no interest in the Rite itself but paid their dues every year to maintain their standing in the Shrine. Wow, so they're not real. So I'm gonna be doing that around I'm gonna I'm gonna be there around between 6 and 8 tonight. 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern time is gonna be the basketball stream. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. See Ancient Arabic Orders of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, AAONMS. All this changed abruptly in 2000 when the shrine, faced with declining membership on its own account, changed its rules to allow Master Masons to join without going through the Scottish or York rites. First, enrollment in the Scottish Rite, already dwindling at that time, plummeted thereafter. While the Rite's survival in the United States is probably not at risk, it seems likely to shrink to a small percentage of its peak size during the next few decades. Outside the United States, the Rite's history has followed different paths. In Latin America, the Scottish Rite is far and away the most popular branch of Masonry, and most Masonic lodges are affiliated with it. In the years following the Soviet Union's collapse, the Rite succeeded in expanding into Eastern European countries, formerly closed to Masonry, including Russia itself, and seems to be taking a similar role there. In Britain, by contrast, the Rite has restricted its membership to Christians, limited access to its degrees, and dropped the word Scottish from its name, referring to itself as the Ancient and Accepted Rite. It remains a relatively small Masonic body there. Further reading Brockman, 1996, Hutchins, 1985, and Pike, 1871. All right. Well, um, let me know. Uh, I'll try to do a basketball stream. Since you showed up to the stream, I'll do a basketball stream in a time that you can get to. I'll see if I can go early tomorrow. We'll try to go in the AM tomorrow, like 9 a.m. Eastern time, probably. I'll try to go AM tomorrow. We'll do it early basketball stream tomorrow. Since you showed up to this stream, I'll look out for you. Okay. Ancient Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, AAONMS. The premier burlesque order in Freemasonry, the Ancient Arabic Order of Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Shriners for short, was founded in New York City in 1871 by Dr. Walter Fleming, 1838 to 1913. And a circle, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. If it's a cool time, then yeah, for sure. Was founded in New York City in 1871 by Dr. Walter Fleming, I already read it, and a circle of Masonic friends who met for lunch at the Knickerbocker Cottage, a popular restaurant in its early years. The new organization claimed to be exactly what it was, a social drinking club for high-ranking Freemasons, invented in the early 1870s, and for that reason attracted little attention. See burlesque degrees, Freemasonry. Hey, no problem. Appreciate it, bro. Much love. For sure, for sure. Just appreciate you showing up to the stream and, chatting and stuff. I appreciate it. In 1877, however, Fleming realized that this was a mistake and invented a romantic origin story for the Shriners, tracing it back to an Arab secret society of the Middle Ages that allegedly still had branches all over the Muslim world. Official letters from these branches were published in the Shrine's official proceedings for several years, despite historical and historical and linguistic howlers most high school students of the time would have easily caught. They gave the Shriners the exotic origin and history that potential candidates wanted. See origin stories. The result was an immediate and dramatic expansion in Shriner numbers and the founding of dozens of new temples, local lodges across North America. The shrine restricted its membership to Freemasons who have received either the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite or the Knight Templar degree of the York Rite. But even this attempt at exclusivity, oh man, good lord, tongue getting stuck, failed to slow down the shrine's expansion. The Scottish Rite simply streamlined its initiation process to either enable Master Masons to qualify for shrine membership after a single weekend of Scottish Rite degree ceremonies and profited handsomely from initiation fees and annual dues paid by men whose access to the shrine depended on Scottish Rite membership. See ancient and accepted Scottish Rite, York Rite. For the first half of its existence, if not more, the shrine existed primarily as an excuse for partying and drinking on a heroic scale. By the early 1880s, the annual convention of the Imperial Council, the international governing body of the shrine, had already earned a reputation as the wildest party in America fraternalism. Water from the well of Zum Zum, and camel's milk, the standard Shriner euphemisms for alcohol, flowed with such abandon at shrine events that other Masonic bodies criticized the shrine for its effect on the reputation of Freemasonry. The shrine's role as the premier Masonic drinking club, though, gave way to charitable fundraising as the 20th century went on. Charitable projects became a focus of shrine activities from 1888 when Shriners raised money nationwide to help Jacksonville, Florida, deal with a devastating yellow fever epidemic. In 1930, the Imperial Council launched a program to build and fund free children's hospitals. More than 20 shrine hospitals and burn clinics in cities around North America now provide free treatment to children in the largest charity program operated by any fraternal organization in the world. These programs cost immense amounts of money, and the shrine temples across the continent invested equally large sums in golf courses, clubhouses, and recreation facilities to attract and keep members. During the first two-thirds of the 20th century, this strategy paid off handsomely. But the social changes of the 1960s posed challenges that an organization composed of mostly middle aged, socially conservative, and white businessmen was poorly equipped to face. Membership peaked in the 1970s and began an inexplorable, inex, inexorable decline in 2000. In an attempt to boost membership, the Imperial Council removed the long-standing requirements for Shriners to hold High Scottish Rite or York Rite degrees. This had a drastic impact on the Scottish Rite, which suffered sharp membership losses thereafter, but had little impact on the decline in Shrine membership. While Shrine hospitals, burn centers, and other charities have large trust funds supporting them, the survival of the Shrine itself is more and more in question. In the realm of American conspiracy theory, however, the Shrine has come to play an increasingly important part in recent years. Like other branches of Freemasonry, it has attracted plenty of attention from anti-Masonic crusaders, and more recently it has been listed as one of the organizations suspected of stage managing the New World Order. Several recent books have claimed that Shrine headquarters in Chicago contains a working replica of the original Ark of the Covenant, which top-level Shriners used to communicate with aliens from other worlds. An interesting claim since the Shrine moved its headquarters to Tampa, Florida in 1978. See Ark of the Covenant, Extraterrestrials, New World Order. Further reading, Van Deventer, 1964. Ancient and Archaeological Order of Druids, AAOD. A short-lived and but influential British Druid order, AAOD, was founded in 1874 by Robert Winthrop Little, 1840 to 78, an avid Freemason who also founded the Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia, SRIA. Like many Masons of his time, Little believed that Freemasonry had inherited the assembled wisdom of many ancient pagan mysteries, and he was also influenced by theorists in the Druid revival who presented ancient Celtic Druidry as a system of initiation parallel to Freemasonry. Another influence was the Ancient Order of Druids, founded outside Masonry in 1781. See Ancient Order of Druids AOD, Druid Revival, Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia, SRIA. While many members of the original AOD became from within Masonry, Masonic affiliation was not originally required to join. In 1886, however, the governing Grand Grove of the order voted to change its name to the ancient Masonic Order of Druids, AMOD, and expel all members who were not Master Masons in good standing, and expel all members who were not Master Masons in good standing. Nearly two-thirds of dang, two-thirds. Nearly two-thirds of the order's members quit at that point and formed a new organization under the original name, which continued in existence until sometime around 1900. The AMOD still exists as a Masonic side degree in Britain. So they lasted and the other dudes didn't. Dang, it's tough. Ancient Druid Order, ADO. See Druid Circle of the Universal Bond. Ancient Illuminated Seers of Bavaria. You know, the symbol of the snake eating its tail. And we've seen this a lot of places, you know, probably. See Bavarian Illuminati. The Bavarian Illuminati. Ancient Mystical Order Rosicrucians, AMRC. The most successful of American Rosicrucian orders, the Ancient Mystical Order of Rosicrucians, was founded in 1925 in Tampa, Florida, by Harvey Spencer Lewis, 1883 to 1939, an advertising executive with a long-time interest in the occult. He claimed Rosicrucian initiations from Europe and a lineage dating back to Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh of Egypt. But the actual origins of AMORC are a good deal less exotic. The process of AMRC's evolution began in 1904 when Lewis founded an organization called the New York Institute for Psychical Research. Despite the scientific name, this was an occult study group with a particular interest in Rosicrucian traditions. See Akhenaten Rosicrucians. In 1915, Lewis contacted Theodore Reuss, founder and head of the Ordo Templi Orientis, OTO, and received a charter for an OTO lodge. This action brought him into the middle of the feud, then underway between Reuss and Aleister Crowley, over the latter's attempt to turn the OTO into a vehicle for his new religion of the Thelema. Crowley, who spent most of the First World War in America, attempted to recruit Lewis in 1918, but was rebuffed. Lewis's efforts on the behalf of Reuss's branch of the OTO had little effect, however. In 1918, the New York City police raided his officers and arrested Lewis, charging him with selling fraudulent initiations. That's tough. The charges were dropped, but Lewis relocated to San Francisco immediately thereafter. In 1925, he moved to Tampa, Florida, and formally established an occult secret society of his own, the Ancient Mystical Order of Rosicrucians, AMRC. He soon discovered that the market for occult correspondence courses was concentrated on the West Coast and relocated to San Jose, California in 1927. AMORC's international headquarters remained there until 1990, and its North American operators are still based there. See Crowley, Aleister, Ordo Templar Orientis, OTO, Reuss, and Theodore. Like most American occult orders of the time, AMORC used a correspondence course model for recruitment and training. Advertisements in popular magazines offered a series of study-by-mail courses to prospective members, and those who completed the introductory courses were authorized to join a local group if one existed in their area, or help found one if one did not. Another standard procedure was the use of different titles and privileges for local lodges, depending on the number of members, as an incentive to local recruitment. In AMRC's case, it took 15 members to form a pronas, 30 to form a chapter that could work the first of the Templar degrees, and 50 to form a lodge that could confer the degree rituals. Lewis's prior experience in the advertising industry gave him an advantage over his competitors. By the early 1930s, AMRC was the largest occult order in America and was expanding into foreign markets as well. The order did not particularly well in France. That's missing a word. Through this French connection, AMRC unwittingly played a minor role in launching one of the most colorful hoaxes of recent years. See Priory of Sion. If y'all want to see what that hoax is, see Priory of Sion. Though AMRC overseas expansion drew on the same methods, that had made it successful in the American market. Connections with existing European secret societies also played a part. Lewis built on his links with with OTO lodges in Germany, headed by Heinrich Trenker, 1880 to 1956. After Theodore Roos's death in 1921, and also pushed the organization of an International Rosicrucian Federation. The Federation Universalis Ordis Society. I'm not Spanish, bro. FUDOSI. These links with French or French. Honestly, any of them. I'm not any of them. See you, bro. Not French. I said Spanish. Forgive me. These links with French occult sources brought Lewis into contact with the Martinist movement. He quickly established a Martinist organization, the traditional Martinist order TMO, open only to AMRC members. See Martinism. AMRC rapid expansion brought it unfriendly attention from its main American competitor, R. Swinburne Climbers. Fraternitas Rosicrucius FRC. From 1982, from 1928 on, Clymer made common calls with disaffected ex-members of AMRC and circulated allegations that Lewis's order was simply a money-making scheme with no right to call it itself Rosicrucian. Lewis responded in kind. The American occult press was enlivened for years by vitriolic blast and counterblast from the two orders, with Max Handel's Rosicrucian Fellowship an occasional target from both sides. Dang, for what, strays? Broke off strays for no reason? See Fraternitas Rosicrucius FRC Rosicrucian Fellowship. During the 1930s, AMRC expanded its San Jose headquarters to include a planetarium, a museum, and a college for Rosicrucian studies, where courses on practical laboratory alchemy were taught during the fellowship decade. Lewis also found time to involve himself in lost continent literature, publishing a book on Lemuria under a pseudonym. Longtime residents of the Mount Shasta area have described AMRC expeditions in the 1930s searching for entrances to the Lemurian cities. So they used to go look for entrances in the mountain. See Alchemy Lemuria. We got 2 more pages left, chat. I'm great. On Lewis's death in 1939, his son Ralph M. Lewis became Grand Imperator of AMRC. Under the younger Lewis's leadership, AMRC continued expanding into the international market, translating its correspondence course material into scores of languages and marketing the order in any country that allowed it. By the time Ralph Lewis died in 1987, AMRC had members in over 100 countries and a secure place in the American occult scene. Lewis was succeeded by Grand Imperator by as Grand Imperator by Gary L. Stewart. In 1990, however, Stewart was deposed by AMRC board amid charges of embezzlement. Dang, bro. He was replaced by Christian Bernard, the head of AMRC's French branch, who remains imperator at the time of writing. The legal wrangling around Stewart's removal from office brought AMRC's a certain amount of bad publicity and some loss in membership. And the attrition suffered by most of the older occult secret societies since 1970s had also taken its toll. AMORC nonetheless remains a significant presence worldwide. Further reading, Lewis 1948, Mackintosh 1997. Well, you read and you get good. Ancient noble order of Gormogons. Gormogons. The Gormogons. A short-lived revival to Freemasonry, the ancient noble of Gormogons, surfaced in the fall of 1724, announcing itself to the world in a London newspaper. The announcement claimed that the Gormogons were founded many thousand years before Adam, by Qin Huang Kaipo, the first emperor of China, and had just been brought to England by a Chinese mandarin. The article solicited new members but warned them that Freemasons would only be admitted if they renounced Masonry and were expelled from their lodges. A later article announced that the same mandarin was on his way to Rome, where he expected to initiate the Pope and the entire College of Cardinals into the Gormogons, see Freemasonry. Behind these claims lay a complex political drama. The founder of the Gormogons was Philip, Duke of Wharton, a leader of the Jacobites, the supporters of the exiled house of Stuart. Wharton had a complex career in the secret societies of early 18th century England. He founded the Hellfire Club in London in 1719 and closed it down in 1720, 1 year. Apparently reformed, he was elected Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of England in 1722, but stormed out of the Masonry following year upon the publication of the first book of Constitutions, which committed the craft to be obedience to the civil government and closed lodges to religious and political agitation. The Gormagons was his attempt at a revival organization linked with the Stuart cause. See Hellfire Club Jacobites. Oof, my ankle hurts. The Gormagons carried on a lively propaganda campaign against Freemasonry, backed by money from Jacobites. In the gentry and nobility, the order was never more than a private project of Wharton's, however. On his death in 1731, the Gormagons seem to have quietly disbanded. The idea of a Stuart Masonry, however, was taken up in France a few years later with Andrew Ramsay's famous Oration of 1736 and the creation of the first versions of Templar Masonry. See Knights Templar, Ramsay, Andrew, Michael. Ancient Order of Druids, AOD. The oldest firmly documented Druid organization in the world, the Ancient Order of Druids, was founded in 1781, probably by a London carpenter, Henry Hurrell, and a group of friends. Looking for a name and an appropriate imagery for his new group, Hurrell hit on the ancient Druids, who had become a fashionable property in the romantic fiction of the time. An initiation ritual was soon devised, extolling the exploits of the ancient Druid leader, Togol Dubilin, a name concocted from the first half of Togol Dumnus, an ancient Breton mentioned by Julius Caesar, and the second half of Cymbeline, the title character in one of Shakespeare's plays. The AOD in its early days used the King's Arms Tavern in central London as their meeting place, but the order soon found itself chartering new groves, local lodges, and established a grand grove to administer the order. Growth led to controversies. Many of the new order's members, like its founder, came from the working classes, and by the 1800s, many groves were agitating for the establishment of a system of sickness and funeral benefits modeled on those of the Old Fellows, the premier working class secret society in Britain at the time. The leaders of the AOD, mostly drawn from the gentry, rejected this plan and tried to limit recruiting from the working classes. Finally, in 1833, most of the order's members broke away from the AOD to found a new society, the United Ancient Order of Druids, UAOD. The UAOD quickly eclipsed its parent in size and influence, and went on to become the largest Druid order in the world for more than a century. See Odd Fellowship, United Ancient Order of Druids, UAOD. The AOD survived the AOD survived the defection of its working class members and continued to work along its original lines. Through much of its 19th century, it drew most of its membership from the London theatrical world. The dubious social standing of the theater at the time inspired the Freemason and Rosicrucian Robert Wentworth Little, 1840 to 78, to found a competing Druid organization, the Ancient and Archaeological Order of Druids, AAOD, in 1874. Despite this competition, the AOD has remained quietly active up in the present. See Ancient and Archaeological Order of Druids, AAOD. And chat, this is where we'll stop today. We got the knife on us because we're 21 Savage, and we're Savage for reading so many pages. If you enjoyed today's reading, you feel me? If you could drop a like on today's stream, you always got to stretch after a good, decent time of reading. You feel me? If you enjoyed today's stream, though, appreciate you for stopping by. And if you didn't, leave. This is obviously not for you. If you don't like this, it's not for you. Obviously. So, and if you do, please subscribe. Check out other content on the channel. Ooh, excuse me, I had a burp. But as we always finish here, we all get that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. And if nobody told you they appreciate it today, I for sure do. We can see on the next stream. Our next stream is probably gonna be our basketball stream for the next game in the series. Stay tuned for the next actual video on the channel, and stay tuned for the next time we read the next 14 pages of the Element Encyclopedia of Secret Societies, the ultimate A to Z of ancient mysteries, lost civilizations, and hidden history by John Michael Greer. And woo! Another 14 pages finished. Working our way through the book. And yeah, just hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Peace. Peace.